Yes. And welcome to the first Heltti webinar held in English. In this fall, we have started Heltti webinars, and we have discussed about different themes. For example, sleeping, working, and stress management. And today we are going to have the first Heltti webinar in English. And welcome to follow us and watch and learn about these three themes. Today we have as a guest our own expert Heli Rautijärvi, who is working as an occupational health psychologist here at Heltti. And with Heli we are going to discuss about some practical and useful tools how to sleep better, work smarter, and manage stress in a better way. So let's get started with stress management. All in all, what should we know about stress in general?
I think there are two basic points. And first of all, we should know what makes us feel stressed. Even though there are some things that stress most of the people, it's still important to recognize what is the thing that really makes me stressed. As you see from the picture, there are some stress factors like hurry, pressure, if you get criticized or you have too many things to finish, you feel that you are not able to do everything you want or in the way you want. Those things makes most of the people stressed. But it's not the stress factor itself, but more the interpretation of the situation that causes us to feel stressed or not stressed.
Yeah.
So that if you feel that even though I feel hurry, even though I have pressures, even though I have lots of things to do, if I feel that I can handle this is okay, I have survived earlier also, I have my team support, I know what to do, I have competence enough, then you maybe have a stress peak, but then you really quickly get back to the race and know what to do. Then you are relaxed again, can work, go on, and don't feel any more stress symptoms. But if in the same situation you for some reason or another feel that this situation is threatening me, I'm not managing this is too much, then you get stress symptoms. And this is the reason why it's important to learn to know oneself, so that you recognize that this thing is crucial for me about when feeling stressed or not.
Is it so that actually the stress itself isn't so harmful, but those interpretations and when the stress is going on and on?
Prolonged stress is harmful for our mental and physical health, but those little stressful moments, we actually even need them.
They're normal.
Yeah, they're normal, and they make us to try our best to sort of those are like our boosters for the working. So everyone feels stressed every once in a while, maybe even daily, maybe even many times a day, but the point is to learn also to cut the stress.
I think one main thing is to recognize the symptoms of stress, and also to understand what is like harmful stress, what is not so harmful. Do you have any tools? How could we recognize those symptoms of stress early enough so that the stress doesn't get so harmful for us?
This is my second point. Point actually. So one thing is to learn what makes us stressed, and another thing is to learn be self-aware enough to recognize that am I stressed a little bit or more. And this is a tool that I would like to give to everyone as a home task or Christmas present, so that that you can maybe after this webinar stop, take a pencil and paper, and write down these few traffic lights, so that you first think that it's usually easier to start from the red light. Everyone knows when they are too stressed.
Yeah.
Like this is the phase when I'm not sleeping anymore, when my stomach is ill, or I have headaches, migraines, or I'm really irritated, or something like this, like those big stress symptoms when it's the last moment to stop before driving to the wall.
Yeah.
So it's maybe easier to start from this one, but even more important is to recognize those yellow lights.
Yeah.
Crossing is coming, it's time to slow down or make a change of direction. So what are the first symptoms? For someone is the sleep. Someone has a small stress and immediately he or she is sleeping bad. For someone else, sleeping is the red light. So this is also a thing that is different between different individuals. And then it's also important to recognize those green lights, so that you know when everything is fine, that hey, actually now I'm feeling relaxed, everything is going on just the way I want. So how to maintain this? So these 3 points, it's they are really something that all of us should every now and then stop and think.
Yeah, to recognize where are you right now, what is your status right now.
Yes.
Are you
and what's the direction you are going. And usually these are something that it's reasonable to listen to your own body, your own mind, for example, your emotions and your thoughts, and also your closest ones. Because sometimes we ourselves don't recognize that we are going like too fast, but someone next to us says that, hey, you have been really on a bad mood, or you don't have time for me anymore, or something like that. So that's one signal also that can be somewhere in those traffic lights.
Yeah, and I think it's important to find out the problems early enough so that the stress is not prolonged, or you are not going to have burnout or anything more serious problems.
Because as we talked earlier, stressful moments are okay. But if you feel stressed for too long, it can be it can turn out to burnout or even depression. So that's why it's really important to take seriously.
What should we do when we recognize those stressful moments, or how could we like make the recovery from the stress to start?
Well, there are many ways, many possibilities, and this is not rocket science. These are really everyday little things, but still it's important to make those things, even though they are easy to know that this is what I should do. The point is to really act like that. So one thing is to try to detach from work, so that even though we are knowledge workers, we have our laptops and our brain with us all the time, we still need those moments when we do something totally different and just concentrate to recover. Be with our friends, with our families, do our hobbies, whatever gets us detached. So that's one thing. Another thing is to find control over our free time. At work, we often have lots of things that we can't control, or we have to do, even though we want it or not. So on a free time, it's important to find those things, even though it's hoovering or washing the dishes. But if you do that because I want to do that, it helps you to recover. And then physical activity and exercise, it's crucially important. And even though if you are not like exercising person, it's important to try to find my own way, even at least walk or do something, so that you get a little bit sweaty and exhausted physically, because that's something we don't get at work.
Yeah, that's true.
And social relationships, as I mentioned earlier, those are of course important. And this is a fun one. I like this point number 5, mastery and practice of something new that has nothing to do with your work. Buy a violin or learn to draw or new language or whatever. That's really good for your brain.
Yeah.
And
even though it might be also energy consuming.
Yeah.
It is it so that it helps you to recover from the work-related
yes,
stress?
Because it's a different kind of load
Yeah.
for your brain.
Yeah.
So everything like that helps. And then, of course, the sleep that we are going to talk about later more. That's the basic element, like the bottom of recovery.
Yeah, yeah. I think to learn to recover from the stress, you have to also actively learn to relax.
That's true.
And you have some points about the relaxation and the importance of the importance of the relaxation.
Yeah, that's true. And the reason I wanted to point this out here is that relaxation is really a skill. It's not an ability that we are born with, or maybe we are, but we lose it. But it's a skill, and that means that it's we all are able to learn or teach ourselves to relax, and that's why we should do that. It has so many positive influences to our brain and our whole body. It gets our recovery faster. It makes us easier to understand ourselves, to listen to our own needs. It makes us more refreshed. So it has many positive influences.
Yeah.
And first, it might help if you take Headspace or whatever application or download something from the web or from YouTube and listen to the exercise, like what to do and how to start. It can help at the beginning.
Some kind of mindfulness exercises,
for example. Yeah. And just Google relaxation exercise. You will find lots of good exercises, and to start with them is quite practical. And then when you get familiar with those techniques, you can use them everywhere. You don't need the guidance anymore. You can just remind yourself that, okay, I needed to breathe. I needed to maybe relax my muscles a little bit and then concentrate at this moment, and then I can continue. It also gets faster when you get those skills.
You get the mastery of those skills. Yeah. All right. Next, I think we are going to go to the second topic.
Yes, because to feel relaxed and feel good, you have to know yourself. You have to have the self-awareness about stress and how what makes you stressed and how you recover from it. But it's also crucially important to work so that you are not stressed all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe you, Jaakko, could tell us something about how to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah. I think I have 3 points on this topic and theme. I think one main point is the same that you earlier mentioned, the sense of control. Control at work, control at your free time, and manage. You should be able to maintain the control in most of the time and most of the places and most of the tasks you are doing. You can't handle or have a control all the time, but it is important that you are not
control enough.
Yeah, you are in control enough, and you can make your own plans and schedules, and you can somehow control those tasks you are doing and so on.
So
and
you manage your own calendar and things like this.
Yeah, okay. And I think one main thing is that it is good to be proactive, not only reactive to all the tasks and all the things that are coming at work and in your everyday life, but trying to be proactive so that you can have the possibility to choose how do you fill your calendar and what are your schedules going to look like. That's one important thing. And a second one is that you should have the skill to prioritize. You don't have time for everything.
No one has nowadays.
Yeah, so you have to prioritize. Even at work, there are those things that are more important than others. And you just have to prioritize those things that are the most important.
Not maybe the nicest ones or the easiest ones, but the most important ones. Yeah. And you have often talked about the why question.
Yeah.
And I just recall that when trying to find out what to prioritize, what's the basic thing at my work or the core business. I think the question, why am I doing this, is quite good there.
Yeah, and that's a question that you should consider in a personal level, but also like in an organizational level. Why are these tasks so important? Why should we do this right now, not tomorrow? And finding the answer to the question why, it helps you as a person and also your organization to prioritize the things and the tasks.
Often I think we only ask what to do and how to do it. We forget the most important one. Yeah, good point.
The second thing is the recovery thing, as we discussed. The stress management and the skill to recover from the workload and from the stress that is coming from the work. So remember to invest enough time to the recovery and find those things that help you to recover. You should have the balance between like working and the workload and the recovery. And even though you wouldn't like do so much work, but you don't have recovery time at all, you are not in a balanced situation. So you have to have those both sides, like enough something to do, something to work for, and also those things.
Something not to do.
Not to do, yeah. And I think one of the most important points about the thing how to learn to work smarter, especially in nowadays when most of the work is somehow knowledge intensive work. The most important thing is how to work in a more brain friendly way, and how to somehow control the energy consumption of your brain. I think that is one most important thing, because I think the biggest problems with health nowadays related on work are somehow related to our mind and our brain and all the cognitive system.
Sort of misusage of the cognitive system of our brain. So what does it mean? What is the cognitive system or the way of using it?
Nowadays there is lots of research about topic cognitive ergonomics, which is the brain friendly way to work.
Like ergonomics traditionally has meant the body friendly way of your working positions and your chair and things like that. So it's the same thing with brain.
I think it's like the same thing in those mental things and in your with your brain. It's about the ability to plan your own work so that it supports the optimal usage of your brain and the optimal usage of the mental energy you have. And it is important to understand that, for example, our memory, our attention and ability to learn new things, they all need the requirement for those actions is that we have mental energy and we have like brain energy, and if we are not working in an optimal way or brain friendly way, we can't learn new things so easily, and we might have problems with our memory and also problems with attention, and that's one reason why we should concentrate on those ways we are doing the work.
When we use our brain wrong, we are doing more mistakes and things take too much time and we get irritated and things like that. So,
and it affects our productivity. So it's not only good for us, it's also good for our employers.
Yeah, so if the 4-hour work takes 8 hours time, there should be some signal in our head that hey, something is wrong.
And one practical and useful method to work in a more brain-friendly way is to try this kind of pulse and pause techniques. There is lots of research about this topic also, and the experts has found that it is more productive and it is more healthier for us to work in that kind of pulses. For example, in a Pomodoro time management technique.
You can Google that.
That pulse is like 25 minutes, and then you have 5 minutes break.
So you really intensively work on something for the 25 minutes and then have a break.
You have some specific goal for the pulse, and you work for it without anything irritating or anything interrupting you, and you can focus on that goal and that tasks.
And you choose the topic that now for this 25 minutes I choose to do this, and you only that.
And of course, if you have a good flow, you can work a little bit longer, maybe 50 minutes at a time. But then it is important to have those pauses so that you can have micro recovery during your working days.
So if you work with a laptop or computer and you have worked intensive 20 or 30, 50 minutes, is it a good pause to change the page to Facebook?
No, I don't think it's enough. You should leave your laptop and leave your mobile phone and do something, maybe something more social or physically active.
So something that your brain gets
rest.
Okay. So our brain doesn't know if we are watching Facebook or Excel, so we have to change that. Yeah, good point.
And here are some tips to support brain-friendly work. You should decrease the distractions at work. You should get rid of those unnecessary memory loads and concentrate on one thing at a time.
That's difficult.
Do not do multitasking. And then also take time to learn the new skills. It takes always time to learn new things, and you should focus on that. You have enough time for that.
You give yourself
that. And using different kinds of memory techniques helps you with the energy consumption, so you don't use so much your mental energy when you use those memory techniques.
Just writing things down or
and
putting
to-do lists and
calendar
so on. And one important thing is also to have routines and have some kind of daily rhythm at work. So it helps you.
So that you have those pulses and those pauses, lunch break and
if you have those routines, it also affects the energy consumption, so you don't have to use energy to think about what should I do now,
instead of this.
But these are few points for the brain-friendly way to work.
And so that you can keep your brain alive. The sleep is the last point we want to talk here today, and just to say a few words about that. it's of course crucially important to have enough sleep and good enough sleep. It affects our energy levels, our empathy, our mental balance, all those cognitive functions that you just mentioned. So sleeping is one thing to prioritize in our daily life. And of course, many of us have some kind of sleeping problems at some point at our lives. That's not that terrible every once in a while, like when talking about stress. Everyone has some kind of sleeping problems sometimes, but if you have prolonged sleeping problems or very often, then you should do something about that. For example, call us and ask some tips and help for that. Problems falling asleep, waking up during the night. Let's mention that it's normal to wake up even 4 times a night, but the point is to get back to sleep quite quickly. If you stay awake, then it might be a problem that should be fixed. Or sleep can be unrestorative, so that you sleep, but you are not feeling energetic when you wake up. And the main point main reason for sleeping problems when working with our brain and being in working life can be the alertness, emotional, cognitive, and physiological alertness. We don't have enough time, or we don't invest enough to the recovery, and that's why we are sort of going too fast, bodily and mentally. And then we may have this kind of circle that we are too not recovered enough. We start to compensate that with harmful habits and lifestyle. We forget exercise, we are eating badly, we are working too long days, not meeting our friends. So those very human things, but things that are really actually making us feel worse. And then we start to maybe fear the nights. We are afraid that I'm not going to sleep, what happens? And then this circle gets deeper and deeper. And when you want to fix this and change things, it doesn't matter where you start, just to find the thing that this is something I can affect, and start from there, because the circle will change the direction. One good thing leads to another. So I think those habits and lifestyle are something concrete we all can affect. And by doing those things we have been talking here this half an hour, all those affect our sleep too. So that's a really good recipe for getting better sleep.
I think that's good to understand that in this theme also the sense of control is quite important. That you can affect the situation.
And everything affects everything. So that when you fix something, it will help the others too.
All right. Now we have discussed a little moment about stress management, the ways to work in a more brain-friendly way, and something about the sleeping problems and how to find better sleep with your own tools, and how to find those tools. This was the first Heltti webinar in English, and on spring I think we are going to have more and more English webinars also, and of course also Finnish versions of Heltti webinars.
And give us feedback and ideas of which theme you would like to hear more, because as you learned here, it was really fast, run through about these important things. And if you wish, we can have a separate webinar about sleeping or cognitive ergonomics or whatever. So give us feedback and wishes.
All right. So I think we are now finishing this webinar. Thanks for watching, and give us ideas and feedback about this.
Yes. Let's see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.